Why did ancient humans start wearing clothes? The real origin story. You're wearing clothes right now, so am I, so is almost every human on this planet. But here's the thing that most people never think about. Our ancestors didn't always do this. For millions of years, humans walked around completely naked, and then something changed. But it wasn't what you think. The common assumption is simple. Humans started wearing clothes because they got cold. Climate change forced them north, temperatures dropped, and suddenly skin wasn't enough anymore. Seems logical, right? Except the evidence tells a completely different story, a story that's far more complex, far more interesting, and reveals something profound about what it means to be human. Let's start with the most surprising piece of evidence. In the year 2003, scientists made a discovery that would rewrite everything we thought we knew about when clothing actually began. They were studying body lice, not the most glamorous research, I know, but here's why this matters. Body lice are different from head lice. They only live in clothing. They literally cannot survive if you're not wearing clothes. And by analyzing the genetic mutations in body lice DNA, scientists could calculate exactly when this species diverged from head lice. When did that happen? Somewhere between 170,000 and 200,000 years ago. That's stunning, because it means humans were definitely wearing clothes, enough to support an entire population of specialized parasites during the last ice age. But here's the plot twist. We were making and wearing clothes thousands of years before we even needed to, climatically speaking. Think about that. Our ancestors were investing time, energy, and cognitive resources into creating garments in Africa, where it was warm. They were choosing to do this, which means the reason wasn't survival, not primarily anyway. So if it wasn't about staying warm, what was it actually about? The archaeological record gives us some clues. Around 100,000 years ago, we find the first clear evidence of bone needles and tools specifically designed for sewing. These weren't crude implements, they were sophisticated. They were sharp, they were precise, and they were clearly meant to punch holes in material and thread fibers through them. Someone figured out how to make tailored clothing, fitted clothing, clothing that wasn't just draped over the body, it was constructed specifically to fit the wearer. Before that, we have evidence of animal hides being used much earlier, possibly as far back as 500,000 years ago. But these were probably just wrapped around the body, utilitarian, basic. The invention of the needle changed everything, because now you could make something that fit your specific body, something unique to you. And here's where it gets really interesting. Around 40,000 years ago, we see an explosion in the archaeological record. We find decorated clothing, dyed fibers, beads sewn into garments, patterns, designs. This wasn't about temperature regulation anymore. This was art. This was identity. This was humans saying, I am different from you. I belong to this group. This is who I am. But we need to back up because there's another theory that's been gaining traction, and it might be even more important than climate or fashion. It's about parasites, not just the lice, we already covered that, but other parasites, other diseases. When humans first started wearing clothes, they reduced their exposure to certain parasites and insects that could transmit disease. In tropical and subtropical environments especially, clothing would have been a massive health advantage, not for warmth, but for protection. And once that advantage was established, clothing became a technology that humans wouldn't give up. Even when they migrated to colder climates, they already had the knowledge, they already had the practice, they just had to make more of it and make it thicker. Then there's the social aspect, and this might be the most overlooked factor in the entire conversation. Humans are intensely social creatures. We are obsessed with status, with group membership, with signaling where we belong in the social hierarchy. Clothing became one of our primary tools for doing this. Long before written language, before complex art, before trade networks, clothing was how you told everyone around you who you were and where you fit. Are you a hunter? Your clothes show it. Are you a member of this specific tribe? Your patterns prove it. Are you high status or low status? Your materials reveal it. Clothing became the original language of human society, a language that could be read instantly across distances without speaking a word. So here's what actually happened. Humans didn't start wearing clothes because of one single reason. It was a combination of factors that reinforced each other: protection from parasites and disease, a way to regulate body temperature in changing climates, but most importantly, a way to express identity and communicate social meaning. And once this technology took hold, it never let go, because humans realized something crucial. You could change who you were, how others perceived you, simply by changing what you wore. For a species obsessed with social hierarchy and group membership, this was revolutionary. This was powerful. This was the beginning of something much bigger than just staying warm. Consider this: animals don't change what they wear. A wolf is always a wolf. A peacock is born with its colors. But humans can become anyone. We can reinvent ourselves, and it all started with the simple act of draping material around our bodies. That's the real origin story of human clothing. Not just a solution to a climate problem, but the first step toward the complex social systems, the fashion industries, the status symbols, and the self-expression that define human culture today. And here's what's wild: we're still doing it. Right now, what you're wearing is sending a signal about who you are, what you value, and where you belong. You're participating in a technology that's been refined and perfected over 200,000 years. You're part of a tradition that's been more important to human survival and social organization than almost any other innovation in our history. Pretty remarkable when you think about it that way.